Okay, 43% of all Americans have less than $10,000 set aside for retirement. 31% of Americans have nothing set aside for retirement. Now this is a huge problem. There are millions of Americans out there right now who are in danger of never retiring, or when they do retire, outliving their financial assets. At Thrive Financial, our mission is to help people, our mission is to strengthen the community by helping people be wise with their money and living lives of generosity. So one of the things we do at Thrive is help people be wise with their money, figure out a way that they can retire and not outlive their assets. I want to share with you this morning a couple of different things. In your folder that I passed out, you'll find a sheet that looks like this. It says Financial Living, Surviving, or Thriving. And if you were to think of your financial picture or your family's financial picture, whatever the case may be, and look at this as a stair step representing where you might be financially, or where your family might be financially, you're going to be somewhere on these steps. One of the goals I have when I sit down with clients and when we work with people at Thrivent is to try and figure out how we can get you to the next step. So if you happen to be on that stable step, the one in the middle, our goals are going to be trying to figure out what are the obstacles and barriers that are getting you or keeping you from getting to secure. And how can we put plans and strategies in place to get you to that next step, to help you be wise with your money and live a life of generosity. I want to share with you kind of a perspective and strategy that we've been sharing with people as we meet with them commonly. And it's kind of an outlook on what we see happening out there and some of the things that we're trying to make people aware of. So, a little bit of a history lesson. My question for you is, if we look back over the last 60 years, we go back to 1950, 62 years ago. In 1950, do you have any idea what the highest wage earners in our country were paying in ordinary income tax? In 1950, 60, yep, what percentage? Highest wage earners paid X percent.
It's pretty high.
Ordinary income tax. 50. What do you think? 50?
Yeah, I want to. Yeah.
50? Any other guesses?
90.
40? Now you've seen this, Ryan, so you know it. Ryan, you remember what it is?
It's probably 80.
90%.
90%.
No, so they
weren't.
1950.
They weren't paying 90% of their income. They were paying 90% of the taxes.
No,
right?
they were paying 90% of their income.
Oh.
This is what they paid in ordinary income tax. What percentage was?
That's not just federal. That's all taxes that they were paying.
Yeah. But you guys remember, at that time we're coming out of a war, and we're trying to get back on our feet. Now, lowest income earners, do you know, have any idea what percentage of their income they pay?
10%.
10?
So I was going to say, Paula.
10?
15?
0.
15, 0? Lowest, well, people who paid income tax. Because there probably was people, you know, who didn't meet the threshold of paying income tax and should be 0. But the lowest wage earners were paying 20%. So income taxes were between 20 and 90% in 1950. Now, if we fast forward to today, any ideas? Today, what to the today, what percentage do our highest income earners pay?
Too much.
30.
35.
35. So now it's at 35. And any idea what the lowest income earners are?
20.
Actually 10. They've gone down a little bit too. So, over the last 62 years, our income taxes have steadily gone down to 35 and 10. Really, for the last, we are paying lower income taxes in our country than we paid for over 60 years right now. Meanwhile, what's happening to national debt? National debt has skyrocketed. If we put the national debt on this graph, it looks like this. And it's currently at
15
trillion. Okay? So, at a time when our taxes have never been lower and our debt has never been higher. And then I want to compare our population in terms of what's going on. And our population can be distributed over a bell curve. On this side of the bell curve, we have the World War II generation. So these are the people who are already retired. People like my grandfather who's going to be 96 in a couple of months. People have been retired for a while, right? On this side of the bell curve, we have the Gen Xers and the Gen Yers, people who are still working or coming into the workforce and probably going to be working for another 20 years or more. So who's that leave in the middle?
Baby boomers.
Exactly. The baby boomers are in the middle. They're the biggest part of our population right now. And does anybody know what the baby boomers are doing on a daily basis?
Retiring?
Retiring.
Trying to. Trying to
They're
retire.
retiring every day. Every day. And Dave was pretty close to the numbers that I have. He said 10,500. The number I've heard is that 11,000 a day are retiring every day. So yesterday, 11,000 baby boomers retired. Today, 11,000 more will join them. Tomorrow, 11,000 more will join them too. So what's happening is they're steadily joining this side of that line. So they're going from contributing to society to relying on society in terms of the Social Security.
It's like a bowling ball going through a hose.
So I'm 45 years old, and I've been told for 25 years now that Social Security is not going to be there for me. For the last 20 years, people have been telling me that. And when I learned this is kind of what crystallizes it for me. Now, I don't know if Social Security is going to be there when I retire or not, but this is why I can see people are saying it's not going to be there. So here's the overall picture. Income taxes have never been lower. Our debt has never been higher, and it's not going lower, it's going higher. And we've got more and more people claiming Social Security every day. So the question I throw out is what's going to happen to our income taxes?
They gotta go up.
They probably got to go up. How high they'll go up, I don't know. You know, when they'll go up, I don't know. I'm not a politician.
Thank God.
But you would think, looking at all of this, there's no way we can avoid our income taxes going up. So that segues into another piece that's in your folder. You have a piece that's got two sides on it. It's called the Tax Efficiency Checklist. And really, at a 100,000 foot view, if you talk about places that you can put your money, where can you put your money? At a 100,000 foot view, generally there's three buckets you can put your money into. And the first bucket is this first column on the back side of this page where it says Tax Now. And your Tax Now bucket is a place where basically all of your liquid money is. Checking account, savings account, any money you might have put in CDs. If you've got a brokerage account with a stockbroker or with E-Trade or Schwab Trade or something like that, money that you've invested but you can easily get back out because it's not in some type of a retirement vehicle. It's basically liquid money. That's money that's taxed now. So like when you receive dividends on some stock you bought, you receive a 1099 div and you pay your taxes on that every year, now. So that's your Tax Now bucket. The middle column is your Tax Later bucket. Two most popular items you'll see in that bucket are probably your traditional IRA or your 401k or 403b if you work for a nonprofit. And this is where the bulk of Americans who do have retirement money have put their money into this Tax Later bucket in probably a 401k or a 403b. All right? The way it works is you put the money in now, you get a tax break for putting that in now. And then later, tax later, when you pull it out in retirement, you pay the income tax on it. Because Uncle Sam says, remember in 2012, when you put that money into your 401k or traditional IRA and I gave you a tax break for doing that, and now 30 years later, you want to pull it out? I want the taxes I didn't collect back then. The idea has always been that when you retire, you'll be in a lower tax bracket, you'll be making less income, and your income taxes will be lower. But many people are now referring to this tax later bucket as the tax time bomb bucket. The reason being, if our income taxes go up, you may be drawing a smaller income in retirement, but you may not be paying a lower tax percentage of income. Your taxes may increase even though your income has decreased.
You're at 10 minutes.
All right, I'll wrap it up. The Tax Never bucket is the last bucket, and that's where we're looking at trying to get money to. Two most traditional in there are the Roth IRA and cash value life insurance. Are the two most popular there. There's a few others you can see in there. What these do is give you the advantage of putting money into a place that later on when you retire, you'll be able to draw that money out and not pay taxes on it. Now you may not be able to eliminate the tax later bucket, but you might be able to augment it in retirement if you have these other places available to you. so that you're going to be able to have less income tax hit when you hit in retirement. So this is just one of the strategies that we're talking with people, one of the perspectives that we're talking to people about when we sit down and look at their financial picture. If this is something that's intriguing to you or something you haven't heard, maybe we should have a conversation. I'll just conclude with a little bit of information about Thrivent. We are one of the largest financial services companies in the country. We offer a full spectrum of financial services. There's really nothing you can't do that we can't help you with. But here's how we're different. To me, this is the coolest part about Thrivent, what I love about my job. We are a Fortune 500 not-for-profit company. And what that means is that we really follow our mission, strengthening our community by helping people be wise about their money and living lives of generosity. We give away over $200 million a year to communities and organizations that are important to our members. Over the last 6 years, we've committed over $160 million to help build 2,700 homes across the world in our partnership with Habitat for Humanity and helping with their mission of eliminating poverty housing in the world. So locally, we've helped build 15 homes in central Minnesota with our partnership for Habitat for Humanity. As a matter of fact, on Tuesday they had an open house, and between myself and my 3 other partners, we were there all day long at this home, helping promote what they do and the partnership we have with them. And I'm sorry that I missed you because I heard you stop by.
Steve and Marcus, yeah.
But I was gone at that point. I had spent the morning there. We've got this great fraternal part of who we do, and it's our way of really living that mission statement of not only trying to be wise with our money, but also being generous with the money that we have that we can give back to our community. So if that's a story that resonates with you and something that you'd like to learn more about, I'd love the opportunity to sit down and tell you a little bit more about what I do, what Thrivent does, or if you know of anybody else out there that might benefit from our services.